Hello my dear students! My topic for today is values of fantasy for children. Why should children be encouraged to read fantasy? Reading all types of books are beneficial in many aspects of a children. One of the best genres to introduce to a child is fantasy. The most obvious benefit of fantasy is that it allows readers to experiment with different many ways of seeing the world. Fantasy cultivates the imagination of children and their second-hand experience of connecting fictive scenarios with their own social reality. Can anyone give me an example of a fantasy book? The first 5 will receive 20 pesos loan. Importance of imagination in child development. Imagination is an essential component of childhood. It helps children learn many important lifelong skills. For an example, it can help them simulate creativity, boost vocabulary, and self-regulation skills. It may enhance also their working memory performance. It helps them to see the countless possibilities in life. Children can increase their ability to think divergently, since it encourages them to envision the possibilities in all things and not to be boxed in a certain idea. How does reading a fantasy nurture the creativity and imagination of a child? In fantasies, the normal rules of the real life are suspended, permitting the reader to gain a new perspective on the world of reality. Since fantasy is distant from reality, it allows children to explore into different perspectives of a scenario according to their own perception of things. Since fantasy is distant from social reality, it allows children to explore into different perspectives of scenario according to their own perception of things. It develops their creativity by not being overpowered by social conditioning. Reading a fantasy requires imagination to conceive the world differently to its current reality, which is also necessary to think creatively. It provides a temporary escape from reality, since it implies a sort of daydream or happy place where all life's worries are faded memories. It allows children to look beyond the ordinary and make their all wishes come true, no matter how far-fetched it may be. Importance of humor in fantasy. Fantasy can entertain through its humor. Children were highly engaged in reading when the material was humorous children's book. They express an awareness of the emotional appeal of humor and its function of helping them cope with the reality of their lives. Humor can also increase the impact of how things go in the story, thus making the word in the story more interesting and memorable for the children.